Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to show you how to find off-market properties at wholesale. Yeah! Jeremy Beelan here, and if you don't know who I am, I've grown multiple seven-figure markets from scratch, and since 2017, I have successfully completed over 400 off-market acquisition deals. I specialize in teaching high-level acquisition skills that empower individuals just like yourself to achieve remarkable success in acquiring off-market properties directly from sellers, just like my companies do every single day. All right, so let's deep dive. How do we find off-market properties at wholesale? This is super exciting. This is where the magic happens. Where do we find all these properties? Well, it's not as hard as you think. It's actually quite easy. So let's get into it. So one of the things you can do is driving for dollars. This is a very popular term that you probably heard. Driving for dollars just basically means you are driving around your area looking for distressed properties. As I would say, properties that need a little bit of love, right? So the roof could be, falling apart. They could have a lot of grass that's overgrown. They could have a lot of junk cars or junk in their yard. The paint could be all deteriorating. So those are all signs of a distressed property. That's driving for dollars. So what do? You take down the address. You go to your local tax card online. Find out who the property owner is and the mailing address, and you can skip trace that, and you can get a phone number and a mailing address, and you can mail them a letter or a postcard that says, "Hey, Mr. So-and-so, property of 123 Main Street. My name is Jeremy. I am looking to buy a property in your area. Would you be interested in a fair cash offer at your property at 123 Main Street? If you are, please call or text the number below." Right? Or, "Hey, Mr. Seller, I know this call is completely out of the blue. I believe you may be the owner of 123 Main Street. I wanted to see if you had interest in a cash offer in your house. I'm looking to buy a property in this area." Right? So you could do that, or you could send them a text message. So this is a way to find some properties that way. Super, super basic entry level, doesn't really require any money, just time and effort. That's the best way to get into it with little to no money, driving for dollars. I will say it will require a lot of time and effort. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that in a second. All right, you can pull lists, and you can pull lists from different sources. So there's companies like List Source, PropStream, Driving for Dollars, PropWire, and countless others. And you can just Google it or look on Facebook, and you can find list providers. In those lists, you can get lists such as, or those list providers, you can pull lists of vacant properties, absentee equity owned. Absentee means an out-of-state owner or somebody who owns that property doesn't live at the address. Pre-foreclosure, tax delinquent, owner equity, inherited properties. So there's a whole bunch of lists that you can pull. I also like pulling lists at the local level, especially when you're new and getting started, because this requires a lot more effort. And I can tell you from experience, the lists and the things that are harder, that require more effort, less people are going to do it. So you will have less competition and more success. So at your local level, you can have code violation, great lists. And you can get that from your code enforcement office. Tax delinquent list. Man, I love the tax lien and tax delinquent list. So your tax collector, you can get a tax delinquent list from them. Now, what's important about the tax delinquent list is you want to make sure that of all the properties that they're providing you, you want to make sure they haven't paid at least 2 years of taxes or more. So if this is 2024, you want to make sure they didn't pay taxes in 2023 and 2022. That's how far back you want to make sure they owe taxes. And if they owe taxes from 2021, 2020, and later, those are great. Those are the ones that are the most desperate and they need the most help. So that's what you want to do for tax delinquent. I also like pulling eviction lists. You can go to the local courthouse and you can pull a niche list called eviction, where you can ask the circuit court, "Hey, I want to get a list of all the evictions that have been filed on last month." And you can pull all the addresses off that, then you can get ahead and find who the owner of that property is, again, by the tax card, right? And get their information, call, text, mail them, right? Super easy, super easy. You can also do this at the family court pulling probate list. So, and if you have a hard time getting these lists at the local level, I will tell you that is very common. Another one you can do is the water delinquent list. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot the water delinquent list. So you go to the water department and they have a list of water shutoffs, right? People who aren't paying their water sewer bills, shutting things down or way behind. Those are great people to send marketing out to or call out to, because, you know, it may be a vacant house where they're not paying anymore, that nobody knows that it's vacant, right? So the water sewer has been shut off because they're not paying for it. Maybe somebody inherited this house and doesn't have the resources to pay for the water and sewer, so they're just letting it go. So great resource. But again, the local level, it's going to be difficult. You're going to have a lot of people tell you, no, that list doesn't exist. I promise you it does. A lot of times it takes 7 no's to get that yes. So it's not a matter of if they have the list. It's a matter of how can you get it. So be persistent. Keep asking people. Don't take no for an answer. It is there. When it comes to probate, another thing you can do is just reach out to some local probate attorneys and ask them, how do I get a list of properties that are being filed for probate in my area every single month? And they can teach you that as well. And those are some good lists as well. Now, here's another thing you can do. Again, this may not be legal where you're doing it, so you have to check with your local municipality and make sure that it is okay to do, or you have permission to do this on people's property. But it's bandit signs. Again, bandit signs, yard signs are illegal in a lot of places, so I would tread carefully here. You do not want to get in trouble, get fined by putting these out, which will happen if you do it illegally. So if you can do them legally, and some areas do allow it, they work out great. You know, sell your home fast phone number. You know, I buy houses phone number, and you just put them at a lot of big intersections. You could put them anywhere near. There's a Walmart, a Lowe's, a Home Depot, the big local grocery stores. I like the bottom of off ramps of major highways. So when people come into the end of an off ramp, one that stops where they have to go left or right, they can see it there. A lot of people are sitting there. That is a way that works. I will tell you, it's probably not the most effective way in today's day and age, but it is still a method that works. Again, you have to check to make sure it's legal. I am not telling you to do this, so do not say, Jeremy told me to do this. But I would check to see if it is legal, and if it is, go ahead and do it. If it's not legal, don't even bother. There's plenty of other ways, which I'm going to continue to share now. So another way to generate or how to find properties is social media marketing. Facebook ads. Easy. Easy. Facebook Marketplace, Facebook ads. There's a lot of companies that just do Facebook ads. You can learn to do it your own. You know, I am Jeremy, the house buyer. I'm looking to buy houses in this area. If you're looking for a quick sale, fast cash, speed, convenience, I'm your guy, right? So you can do Facebook ads. They do obviously cost a little bit of money, and that's fine. If you have some money, it's just an easy way to generate leads that come in. So social media marketing, Facebook ads is a great one. Networking. Wow. We recently had somebody on our podcast who says they got most of their deals, and this person owns up to 600 doors from networking. He hosts local meetups. Yes, that's all he does. Local meetups where people around the area come, hang out with him, and talk real estate. And through this, he's been able to find a lot of people that have deals to bring him. So you can actually leverage other people to do deals where you can partner up with them or JV with them, right? So they may say, hey, I have a contract, help me find a buyer. Or, hey, I need help talking to the seller. Let's work it together to get it under contract. Local meetups are a great way to do it. Local real estate investing associations, all great ways to find people that have some deals, right? And that is a good way to network and build relationships with people. Another way you can do this is through real estate agents, right? So real estate agents are out there looking at properties all the time. Well, if they come across a hoarder house or a house that needs a lot of work, they don't want that house. They want houses that look nice and neat and sell fast to the retail buyer. But man, if they could find that house and find somebody like you who could wholesale it to an end buyer for them, that may be a perfect win-win situation. And you can say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, if you come across these distressed properties that you don't want, the ones that you would typically not list, but these people need to sell, well, you could represent them as the seller, represent me as the buying agent, and now you can double end your commissions and make twice as much commissions on that one sale and help somebody out of a situation. And guess what? With all the cash buyers I have, I can make this a very seamless, quick transaction so you don't have to do a lot of work. Real estate agents work a lot of times with cash buying investors and wholesalers. This is a great opportunity to have them help you find deals. And what's great about this, it doesn't cost any money on marketing. Just all it takes is some good relationship building. Another thing that you can do is radio and TV ads. Yeah, create a radio commercial or a TV commercial. It costs some money, not as much as you think, but you can have a company, you can hire a company that create a little commercial for you, whether it's on, or you can record your own for the radio or record one for a video. You can just do it yourself, really. You don't have to be super fancy. And you can just pay the TV company, the local TV stations or the local radio stations to post those ads. They actually work really well, like really well. So radio ads and TV ads, those are great ways to generate a lot of leads. You just post, what's cool about this, right? So you have to spend the money every single month on it, but you create one ad and then you're done. And then that ad just keeps playing. People come calling, hey, Jeremy, I heard you on the radio. You buy houses. I need to sell my house. Or, hey, Jeremy, I saw your commercial on TV. I just inherited my mom's house in the area and I don't want it. And it's in bad shape. Would you be interested in looking at it? Awesome, right? Awesome. So that's what's cool about radio and TV ads. You just spend money, make ads once, and then the leads just start coming in forever. Another great way to generate leads and to find off-market properties for wholesale is PPC. Pay per click. Yes, pay per click is fantastic. There's companies out there, unless you're super savvy yourself and know how to do it, but you can hire a company out there and you can place an ad on Google. So when people look on Google, I want to sell my house fast for cash, you will come up as an ad and they will click on it. Now, pay per click can be very expensive. Some areas are so expensive compared to other areas. So it really depends where you are in the country, but they generate really good motivated leads. But I will warn you that if you're new to this industry, don't do PPC until you really hone your skills. You want to get really good at converting leads to deals before you start spending money on PPC, or else you're going to just burn through a lot of cash fast. You may not survive it. So definitely not recommended for people who are newer in the industry. But if you have been doing this for a while and had some success, like you've been doing this for a year and you've closed, a dozen deals or more and you're really cranking, PPC would be a great one for you. Another one I like is SEO, search engine optimization. It's super easy, right? You just need to have a website that just ranks really high in your area from keywords. So when people write into Google or Bing, sell my house fast cash sale, sell my house for cash, whatever those terms are, you can show up high on that list as far as people, right? So think about all the times you type something in the area, right? I'm looking for a plumber in my town. All those things come up, right? That's search engine optimization, right? You can use that to build your company to be at the top of that. Now, it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort, but search engine optimization, SEO, is a great lead source to bring you high quality, super motivated leads. Another thing you can do with those lists that I told you about is you can text them, you can cold call them, and mail them with mailers. You can use handwritten mailers, postcards, you can send brochures. That it's endless, right? It's really just a matter of how much money you want to spend. But texting is obviously relatively free. The problem with texting is there's all kinds of regulations now. It's getting more and more challenging to text. So you really need to read up on what is allowed with regulations and how to navigate that. It's not as easy as it once was, where you could just send out hundreds of texts every day. That doesn't really fly anymore. So texting works. It's very complicated, very cheap. If you understand the laws and the rules and how to overcome these regulations, you could do quite well with texting. Cold calling is another one. Now, again, a lot of people are on the DNC, do not contact list. You need to make sure when you pull a list, you check to make sure that they're cross-reference it and they're not on the DNC, because you do not want to be cold calling somebody who's on the DNC list, because you can get in trouble. So you need to be very, very careful with that. But for the people who want, you can skip trace those phone numbers and skip trace that list, make sure they're not on the DNC, and just start calling them. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I wanted to know if you have an interest in selling your property at 123 Main Street, right? There's many different scripts that you can try, and you can get a hold of a script and it's just practice. Cold calling is relatively cheap, but it requires a lot of time. And a lot of people don't realize how much time it takes, and they will actually quit way too early before they get the deal. It can be really unmotivating. So the reality is, with cold calling, it's going to take you probably 2 to 3 hours a day of calling phone number after phone number after phone number after phone number, 5 to 6 days a week. 2 to 3 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. And it's going to be week after week after week. And it can take you 6 weeks of doing it at that level, that volume, before you get your first contract. And then once you get your first contract, you got to keep doing it again to find the second contract. And what happens is, after a couple weeks, most people are like, I don't want to get on the phone call and do another 2 or 3 hours of people telling me no. How do you get my number? I don't want to talk to you anymore, right? But cold calling does work, but it takes a lot of volume to find those deals. With wholesaling in general, it's a numbers game. You'll hear that terminology a lot, which means you're going to have a lot of addresses at the top, a lot of people, a lot of phone numbers, and you got to get through them all, right? And it's like a funnel. There's so many at the top, and they weed down, and only a few come out at the bottom, but you have to do all that work in between to find them, right? So the different marketing channels work through that funnel. But cold calling, you have to call them all, or you have to text them all with texting, right? Or in this next one, mailing, you send them all a mail piece, and you mail them all, and some of them start to call and reach out to you. So mailing is a good one. And it requires, again, a numbers game where you're going to have to spend some money and send out a lot of letters before you find that first deal. So it works, but it's going to take a lot of mailings. You can't just think that you're going to send out 100 letters and you're going to get a deal. Now, you might, and some people do, but chances are it's probably going to take you closer to 1,000 letters to get that deal, maybe even more. It could take you up to 10,000 sometimes in some markets. One more that I like that is super simple that a lot of people don't use, and that's RVM, ringless voicemail. So we talked about pulling these lists together and skip tracing them and having these phone numbers where you can text and cold call. Well, you can also get a ringless voicemail system that will call all these numbers and leave a voicemail. That's it. You probably even had one on your cell phone where your phone like rings for like a half a second, it hangs up, and then you have a voicemail. That's a ringless voicemail. So there's a bunch of different companies out there, and what happens is you just leave a message saying, hey, this is Jeremy, the home buyer. I'm looking to buy a property in your area. I know this message is completely out of the blue, but if you're looking to sell your property and may be interested in a fair cash offer, please call or text me at this number, 123-123-1234, right? And that's all you have to do. And you can just send out a lot of those. Now, those are cheap. Again, a numbers game. You're going to have to send out thousands and thousands and thousands, but they do work. So the one thing you really need to understand when it comes to marketing and how to find off-market properties, it really comes down to two things: time and effort and money. So you can spend a lot of money and your time and effort on generating leads and getting leads will be easier. But when you're new to this business and you don't have a lot of money, then you're going to have to do the stuff that requires time and effort. Cold calling, texting, door knocking, mailing, ringless voicemail, like all that stuff requires a lot of time and effort. But if you have a lot of money, you can just do PPC ads, Facebook ads, radio ads, TV ads. That doesn't require a lot of time and effort, right? It just requires a lot of money. So you can find out what works way best for you, right? Think about it as like a scale, right? If you're weighing a scale, you have, money here, time and effort here. What is the balance that works best for you? I don't have a lot of money, so I need to have a lot of time and effort. Or I have a lot of money and I don't have a lot of time and effort, or I need to find the balance that works best for me. So that's what it comes down to with marketing. All marketing channels generate leads. It's really your ability to take those leads and convert them to revenue that's going to separate you from all your competition. That is what we're going to talk about in future videos. But for this video, those are a lot of different marketing channels for how you can find properties of wholesale real estate. They're everywhere. They are literally a conveyor belt, right? They're just pumping out one distressed house after another in your area all the time. You could be a local home buyer or a local wholesaler that just closed on 100 properties in your area last year. And guess what? There's probably 100 to 200 more properties that you didn't that were still there. And guess what? There's another 100 to 200 properties now waiting for you. So there's an endless amount of deals out there and a ton of people who need your help. They're distressed and they need you to come in to be a problem solver for them. So go find those people. All those different marketing channels work. Find out what one works best for you. And let's go find some deals to wholesale and make some money. Let's go. All right, guys. So that's it for this video. If you found these high-level strategies valuable, then please make sure you subscribe to the channel for more insightful content like this. And if you're looking to take your off-market property acquisitions to the next level, which I hope you are, I invite you to check out the link in the description. It's a valuable resource where I can share how my coaching program can help you master these skills and achieve exceptional results in your real estate ventures and live a life of freedom through real estate investing and wholesaling, just like I am. Feel free to explore if you're interested in joining me in this journey to elevate your off-market acquisition skills with off-market properties. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. See ya.